I guess we're good. So good morning. We're going to begin with some aspiration to give a direction to our meditation with a refuge and the four immeasurables. So if you have the little booklets, it's on page 3. And welcome to our friends over the waves of the internet. If you can hear us and see us, otherwise just sit and be silent. Until I have reached full awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By means of beneficial actions, such as generosity, may I attain enlightenment in order to benefit beings. Until I have reached full awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By means of beneficial actions, such as generosity, may I attain enlightenment in order to benefit beings. Until I have reached full awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By means of beneficial actions, such as generosity, may I attain enlightenment in order to benefit beings. May all beings find happiness in the cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering in the cause of suffering. May they not be separated from the perfect happiness that is free from suffering. May they abide in great equanimity, free from attachment and aversion to those near and far. May all beings find happiness in the cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering in the cause of suffering. May they not be separated from the perfect happiness that is free from suffering. May they abide in great equanimity, free from attachment and aversion to those near and far. May all beings find happiness in the cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering in the cause of suffering. May they not be separated from the perfect happiness that is free from suffering. May they abide in great equanimity, free from attachment and aversion to those near and far. Just let us take a little moment to be sure we're here. Whatever we've been doing before we arrived here, we just let it fade away into the past. What we might have to do in the future, we leave it on hold for now so that we can be fully present to what we are doing right now, that our body, our breath, our mind are in this moment. To begin with, we pay attention to our posture. The way we sit has a definitive influence on the state of our mind. First, we sense the contact with the ground that we have, whether we sit on a chair or sit on the floor. We notice the stability we gain through this contact. Maybe we can have a moment of gratitude for the earth and the beautiful support she offers us. We feel rooted. Our hands might be resting palms down flat on our thighs, or in a meditation gesture, which is the right hand in the left, both resting in the lap. Our shoulders are slightly outstretched so that our back is not caving. And in the same idea, our spine is straight, but without any unnecessary tension. Think of your back as a large tree, the trunk of a large tree. that supports the limbs, but move with the wind. The chin is slightly tucked in so that the head is in line with the spine, so to say. The mouth is relaxed, maybe in a half smile, and the tongue is lightly touching the palate to ease the breathing. Our gaze is directed straight ahead, slightly downward, eyes half closed in a soft and open vision of what is directly in front of us. At times, if you find it more suitable, comfortable, you can keep your eyes closed for a while. Breath comes and goes mostly through our nostrils in a natural fashion that we don't need to alter. Sometimes deep, sometimes more shallow. It is what it is. Breath can be used as a reference point towards which we come back every time we feel or notice that we have been drifting away, following trains of thoughts regarding the past or projecting into the future. As soon as we notice this, we just simply disengage. We don't have to judge ourselves for being distracted or these kind of thoughts that are totally unnecessary. We simply disengage from whatever drifting we were carried away by, and then we come back to the breath for a while, just very naturally following the movement of the breath. Once we find the stability again, we don't need the support of the breath, and we can just let the mind be in its natural state. In this state of openness and awareness, we're not trying to nullify sense perceptions or thoughts. We just let them be, arise and disappear, follow their own course, without us, that is the mind that observes them, being compelled to block them or follow them. We notice them arising, we notice their course, and we see them disappearing. In this manner, even if there are a lot of thoughts or a lot of sense perceptions, the observer, the meditator, me, whatever you want to call it, that is mind, is not distracted or put off. You're like a vast sky through which the wind blows and the clouds pass. You let the birds fly, but you remain stable, clear, and alert. Feel free to move a bit, stretch if you need. Over the past weeks, I mean, quite a while now, I've been using a text. It's called Mind Training, A Path to Awakening, and in particular, the 7th chapter, which contains different guidelines and advice on how we can cultivate fruitfully this path of awakening. And the path of awakening basically is, on one side, to develop the wisdom, and on the other side, to become more compassionate. So it's kind of trying to have the two wings of a Buddha bird, the wing of wisdom and discernment, and the wing of compassion. So you're not abstract, but you're not stuck in the mud. You're free and you're caring. So that's the idea. So, and we come to the end of this chapter, and I really like the last slogan of the last advice in so it's a long journey through 59 slogans, guidelines, instructions. And so that's the last one. And the last one says, don't expect any applauses when you know you're on your spiritual path and you're transforming yourself and you're becoming, you know, closer to your reality. Like, don't wait for applauses. And it's interesting because in a way it sort of sends me back to one of the early slogans of these texts. It's kind of like a loop that is completed, because the initial slogan is, consider all phenomena like a dream experience. It appears, but it doesn't have any substantial reality. In simple terms, what we know of the world is mostly what we know and very little to do with what it is. As often quoted by me, Anais Nin wrote, we don't see the world as it is, but we see it as we are. We have our own reading of the world. We have the appreciation and depreciation. We like it, we dislike it. We have the tinges and the colors, and these are all very personal. And often, as a kind of a joke, I said we are more storytellers and makeup artists than anything else. We make up this world with our own projection of what we see. And what we see is not always what it is. Unfortunately, most of the time, what we see is not at all what it is. And so if we join this path and we want to bring to its full fruition both the wisdom and the compassion for our fellow beings, we can't do that for, you know, at the end to be rewarded by some applause, to applaud, and then you applaud. Anyway, you see what I mean. Excuse my French. And we can't do that, you know, for this, because it defeats the entire purpose. The purpose is come to realize that the self doesn't have the solidity, the reality that we assume it has. But the self only exists in relation to the others. And that's what creates duality. It's kind of a mirror-like effect, except you have two mirrors. I don't know if you have seen this installation by the artist Nam June Paik. You're familiar with his name? It's part of, I think it's part of Cobra movement, Nam June Paik. He has a Buddha sitting in front of TV set with a camera on top of the TV set that's filming the Buddha looking at the TV set. So it's the Buddha looking at its own representation, you know. So I thought it was a very nice illustration of what this sort of reflection or this mirror-like wisdom. When you're at the zoo, you're looking at the monkey, but who is looking at who? Okay, so that's this mirror-like effect, and that gives the impression that both are real. I am, therefore you are. You are, therefore I must be. And on this premise, we build all of this. And that's why I said what we see is not what is. What we see is what we are. And so if you're doing this to receive at the end some applauses, that means that you haven't really see the heart of the problem, which is to assume that the self has an inherent independent existence. You haven't scratched the surface. You haven't seen really interdependent origination. That this exists because of that, and vice versa. It's only this ping pong game. It's kind of confusing sometimes when you try to think about it, you know. So, well, one option is don't think about it. And that's what we've been doing since beginning last time. It was not very, very successful. And so let's think about it, but let's try to be imaginative. And so I try to think in those terms, you know, like we have families. So, you know, family is, in a very conservative sense, a father and a mother and a child, okay? There's also option, I acknowledge them and respect them, okay? But let's say, just stay simple. A father and a mother and a child. And we think, yeah, the child was made by the mother with a little input of the father in the early stage of that. But actually, if you look the other way around, a mother is not a mother until she has a child. So actually, it's the child who made the mother. And then in the same way, the child made the father. So if the child makes the father, who came first, the chicken or the egg? Okay? Because before that, it was just a man and a woman having fun. And then their parents, because the child was born. But the child was born because the parents that were not parents had fun. So there's a lot of non-parents element in the child. And at the same time, the child makes the parents. So that's this mirror effect. These three arises simultaneously. It's when the child is born, we could say conceive if you want, that the father becomes a father and the mother becomes a mother. And the child becomes a child. It's because of these three together creating this new assignation of identities that all of these happen to be. And so it would be all fine if there was not problems sort of like linked with that situation. Like, this is my child, this is my mother, this is my father. There's a sense of affirmation of my personality and myself by owning other things. And that's our projection. That's what we see of the world. And this is my child, and you shall be a doctor. This kind of thing. You know the story. So if we're still expecting applauses, is that we still believe in this dualistic reality, like I am here, independent from you over there, and I need to be comforted in my existence, and I need to be satisfied, I need to be respected and applauded and recognized as worthy. So that's your job. Do that, or I kill you. Okay, no, it's just an example. I'm not going to kill you if you don't applaud me. That's okay. So don't expect applauses. It's really deeper than just like a recognition. It's like by the end of this text and this journey, because this text is a journey, by the end of this journey, you should be free from the need to be acknowledged as a self by other selves that want to be acknowledged by as a self by yourself. You should have moved beyond that. You should have seen that how flawed is this vision. You should have at this time, at this point of the text, this point of the journey, should have sort of like moved beyond duality. If you haven't, well, keep working on it, but don't expect for applauses. So that links us or brings us back to the loop beginning. If there is a beginning in a loop, I'm not sure. Well, every point on the loop is a beginning and an end in itself. But anyway, bring us back to all things are just like a dream experience. They have its undeniable an appearance. You know, I'm not you in that sense. I have my own story, you have yours, and so on. But if you sort of like, that's the surface. If you scratch a little bit deeper, you may come to realize I am me because you are you. And you are you because I am me. But in your own world, you are you because I am me. And I am you for you. Mirror effect. That creates the illusion of a reality. Illusion of a reality doesn't mean there is no reality. It means it is not what it appears at first sight. Keep digging. And it's very important to keep digging, because if you don't dig and understand interdependent origination, you tend to think in terms of entities that are separate. I am here. You tend to think in terms of duality. You tend to think in terms of permanence. And there you're against the stream of reality. And when you're against the stream of reality, it hurts. You're sort of like against the stream of reality. And you're trying to, hold things that are constantly falling apart, and hold things that are not true, and all these truths for evident, and they fall apart, and you're disappointed. There's a lot of suffering in not seeing the reality, not knowing the reality. So the whole purpose of this journey of ours, if you jump on the bandwagon, is to come to know ourselves as not an entity, but as one aspect of an interdependent network and relation that has no substantial reality, but has a lot of purpose, a lot of meaning. And the main one is to liberate all of us from suffering that comes from ignorance, and pass the message and help those who are on the way. That's basically the idea. And then, please don't applaud, because, I don't like to be criticized, but in a way, I like it better than being praised. Being praised makes me feel very uncomfortable, because I feel that's dangerous. I might believe it. And or if you criticize me, there is maybe an option that what you're saying is true. And then I can learn something. And if you criticize me and I look at it and I think you're wrong, that's okay. That's your view. That's your point of view. So don't wait for applauses. That would be the slogan of the day. Okay? And so let's go back to our moment of silence and simplicity. To conclude, let's share the benefit and the quality of our meditation today with everybody. It's on page 4 in the booklet. Through this merit, may I attain true omniscience. Then, having overcome all harmful, destructive forces, may I liberate sentient beings from the ocean of existence and its turbulent waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death. May the most precious mind of awakening that has not yet dawned now rise. Once arisen, may it never decline. May it continue to increase evermore. Thank you all very much. So I see Laurie in the back. Hello.